How's it going, everyone? Jesus here, aka Tyrant Dominus, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about Anchor. Anchor is the one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. And best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. Honestly, Anchor is a very enjoyable platform to be on, listen on, and just a joy to be a part of this community. Anchor, come check us out. And welcome back to Reactioncast. It's your host Jesus, aka Tyrant Dominus, here to bring you another movie review. This time around, we're going to be talking about the DC movie animated film, Injustice. So, if it sounds familiar, Injustice is actually was originally a video game, was expanded upon through comics, and then I believe there was a Injustice 2. So basically, just a simple premise of this movie is on an alternate Earth, the Joker tricks Superman into killing Lois Lane, his wife, which causes him to go into a rampage and basically kill the Joker. At this point, Superman decides to take control of the Earth because, people bad and are stupid. And Batman and some of the other Justice League members try to stop him. Basically, how do you stop the Son of Krypton? And without really going into, I'm not gonna really go into a lot of spoilers. It's just this premise is really interesting. It's been done a few times, but this is the one time that it's been most prevalent in a sense where, what if Superman basically kind of became evil? Not like evil Superman. He's like, this is more like dictator level stuff. And sadly, this film does not do a very good job expanding that. But that, so the story for the most part, you follow Superman and Batman. These two have always, for the most part, been the closest together, but have clashed a lot because there are some of the best characters, in my opinion, to do this in state, because they have this work buddy relationship. It's really fun to see. You see it a lot in this film, but it hurts because this film does a lot to cram a lot of information, a lot of subplots to do a lot. There's a lot happening in this film, and I feel that's what hurts it. There's a lot of there's not enough character build. I understand that we know these characters, but we don't know these characters, and this is where you get into the sense of you have to, first things first, you have to get get rid of your sense of what traditional Superman is, because this version of Superman is a man who has, he is a man who has lost his wife, his child, and his city. And what any individual wouldn't basically lose it to basically stop the person who's done it. And for the most part, you do get that. It is, I believe it's rated R because it's blood. You see murder, I believe it's rated R. I don't see why it wouldn't be. But it's just, look at that shit. Exactly, phone. It doesn't do a good job like pushing a cohesive story, because you're following Superman, kind of like, hey, you know, I have the ability to end all this strife, all this fighting, all this murder, and it's just you see these scenes where he's going to different countries, stopping them, forcing people like, hey, play nice, or I'll make you play nice, and that's kind of what you want to see, and you see it, but it's not done. It's done too fast where it doesn't hold so much gravitas. There's a scene where he does something horrible, and that it's you can hear it in the background when Batman is like lost, and it's a very, very striking scene. You don't really like see it, but you know what's happening from the destruction. And it's like that. It scenes like that where it has a good time to let it sink in, to see how far Superman has fallen, and that's kind of what I wanted to see. Now, the Batman's side plot of him trying to figure out what to do, there's that with the Robin and Nightwing, this whole subplot. There's like so much happening, and then you have to follow a few of the other Justice League members. It's a lot. Like that, it kind of hurts. Like I'm not. That's what sucks about this film, is that there's just so much crammed into it. Where if it could have been a little longer. How long was this film? How long did I actually watch it? How long was this movie? It was rated R. An hour and 20. It's an hour and 20. It could have used it could have been removed. A couple subplots could have been removed, or it could have been extended to 2 hours. It just, there was just so much, like a whole Nightwing plot. Just like, sure, what? It was cool. Like I was wondering where that was gonna go, but it went kind of just, it was just thrown in there a little bit. It felt like that, and then this extra villain that was thrown in there, like that's a little bit of a spoiler, but even that was like, what? Okay, it's just I don't know. And the conclusion itself, you know, the final act and the finale, it was like intense to watch, not emotionally. Visually, it was cool to see, but I just didn't feel it. And just the finale, like end conclusion, it just felt kind of cheesy. There was a moment that it kind of like, okay, this is how it ends, fine. Like I'm content, but then it just has like this weird cheesy moment. I'm like, oh, okay, and it just I was honestly left like empty. Actually, I was like actually looking forward to this movie because I did play Injustice. I didn't get through the whole story. I won't deny that. But I'm going into this movie thinking I didn't play the games. I didn't read the comics. I want to enjoy this movie, just this movie, to tell a reasonably cohesive story. And it didn't, for the most part. Like, it was just everywhere. That's what I keep going to, because the rest of the film's really good. Like visually, it's like really intense. The art style for some of the characters are a bit funky, but I got used to their like that Earth's version of their suits. It was fine. The art style a little bit was like I don't know what the name of that art style is, but after you got past like probably the first 5 minutes, like you get used to it, unless you don't like that art style. For me, it took me a bit, but I just been watching a lot of different animated series, and my eyes have to adjust to so many different art styles until I get into that mindset. But for this film, it took me a few minutes to like, okay, this is what I'm getting into. Either I like it or I don't, and I did at the end. I was like, okay. It flowed. The animation was really good. Everything like flowed that flowed well. And the voice acting was like great. Like they had some very fun voice actors that like it did really well. It's just the plot was too much for this. Like, I understand what they were trying to go for, and the story is there. Like, they have the story. It was just like literally having a cake and a half, and all you really wanted was like a slice, and they just gave you everything, and you didn't have enough time to eat it. And I think that's what hurts this film for the most part. I honestly was hoping it to be a very, very fun, intense film, because I've said this before in my other DC hero stuff, and when I do discussions, like Superman for the most part is my favorite hero. Like I would say Batman and Superman are both my favorites. So when I see them on screen together, animated or live action, it's not that I want to see a pure portrayal. I want to see a very honest telling of a story of that character the way they want to do it, but without like clogging it up. It kind of does that. We've seen it before in some live actions. It does. There's a couple hit or miss with other films, but this one had a decent like premise, and it just, these other subplots just hurt the story as a whole of Batman just trying to stop Superman from becoming a tyrant. And like, there, we've seen Batman v Superman stories like what is it, not the Dark Knight, what the heck was that film? It's like a 2-part film. Is it the Dark Knight? It's bugging me now. Dark Knight movie. Is it? It's gonna bug me if I don't get this right. Dark Knight movie, animated. Dark Knight Metal? No. Dark Knight. The Dark Knight Batman, The Dark Knight Returns. Is it that one? Yeah, I think it's that one. The comments can rail me if it's not. But yeah, The Dark Knight Returns, the 2013 animated version, that you get to see like an older Batman fight Superman. And that movie had to be split in two, but it was reasonably well done, to the point where you got like a reasonably good cohesive story. And there's just so much. I understand what they were trying to do. It's just, and for this R-rated movie, like DC film, like there was some gore and bloodshed, but they kind of did hold back a little bit. I can understand where they needed to hold back, but they did. They kind of like used a lot of it with the Joker scene. The rest were kind of subsequential. I think for the most part, just getting the Joker scene, I think that's what wanted people. Like, you get it if you see the Red Band trailer, and you don't get really too much bloodshed after that. You get some fun action fights, but actually there's like one other scene actually. I'm trying to think here. There's a few other scenes with a little bit more gore and stuff, but yeah, there isn't much really. There are some touching scenes, but like I said, there's just so much happening that just gets polluted by everything else. I'm kind of rambling at this point. It's just thinking about the film. Like, normally I would have probably rewatched it again if it was that enjoyable. Like, I think, I don't know how many times I've rewatched a couple animated films because they're very fun to see. They're not all great, but they're entertaining, and this one just didn't just didn't hit the mark for me, and it left me hollow at the end, and that's kind of sad to say. So I'm gonna I want to give this film, let's see here. Was it bad? It wasn't bad. Like it's average. Yeah, it's kind of average. It wasn't like horrible. It wasn't horrible. I'm kind of between average and bad. It wasn't bad. Yeah, it wasn't bad. There's just so much clogging it. So I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10. It's average film. You know, you get what you go for. And if you're just sit down and just watch it one time, it's fine, in my opinion. So yeah, that is my thoughts for Injustice animated movie. Let me know what you thought about the film. Did you enjoy it? Did you feel that it was a little too clogged down? Let me know. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave it in the comments. If you are listening to this on any of the podcast platforms, leave me a message on either the Instagram post that this is on or on the tweet that this is posted. You can follow me on those social medias on @Tyrant Dominus. And yeah, let me know what you guys thought. So, thanks again for listening. Until next time, see ya.